Hey, brand builder, welcome to this special recap edition of this special episode on recession-proofing your business and recession-proof revenue. Talking about government sales. This was not on our radar. AJ made it on our radar.
Yes, I
and
did.
What did you think? This was your call to push our friend Jack up in the queue.
I did. Well, I was on a client call. He's one of our clients last week, and when I was going through all these data statistics that he had provided around the importance of gaining government contracts in your business, I just said, yeah, but that's not really for everyone. And he goes, it most absolutely is. And as soon as he said that, a trigger went off in my mind of how many people are in our audience out there, who are sitting there going, well, I could never sell to the government.
Yeah.
And I said, probably all of them.
Including us.
Including
we were
us.
Like, nah.
So we need to have Jack on to demystify this concept that the government doesn't buy what I do. I can't be of service to the government, or it takes too long, or it's too complicated. And he totally demythed all of that with some really simple resources. I think it's very timely, and it's I think just really important, because one of the two things that wasn't necessarily a part of the interview today, but I think that are really pertinent, is that in the midst of what the media shares, which is typically always negative, there is also a counteracting of positive and good things that are happening that just aren't as newsworthy. They aren't as popular or trendworthy for whatever reason. And I think Jack was such a great example of, in the midst over the last 3 weeks, where so many people are like, WTF, am I going to make payroll? Is my business going to make it? There are other businesses that are booming. They are exploding. They're experiencing double, triple, 10 times growth in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, we've had parts of our business struggle, and then we've had parts of ours literally boom.
Yeah. So I think one, it's just that reminder that there is an opportunity in any market to be successful.
Amen.
Bill Gates has this long quote that I keep talking about over the last few days, when he talks about, in a time like this, how you view the market is exactly what will happen to your business. If you view it as an opportunity, you're going to find a way to be opportunistic and gain market share. If you view it as, woe is me, I'm out of business, that's probably what's going to happen. And I think Jack's take on how are you adjusting your skill sets, adjusting your services to be applicable to what one of the biggest vendors out there is looking for, i.e. the government.
The biggest.
That's true.
The biggest spender.
With at least a minimum of $2 trillion out there for spending. What are you doing to get some of that?
Yeah.
And that is why I wanted to have Jack on.
Yeah, I think that was huge. And I mean, even just that idea alone, like, forget about COVID, forget about economy, recession, just go, look, the number one spender in the world is spending a bunch of money. Are you aware of who it is and what they're doing and what they're spending the money on? And for the answer, most of us is no, which is insane. Like, in any other normal private business, you would know who's spending money, and you would go there.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of my big takeaways, was that there's always people spending money. You got to figure out who. And in this case, Jack is bringing to this some great resources and things around the government. I mean, that website is like literally people trying to spend money, and they're just posting it on this site.
I think too, and it's just knowing what to do. And I love that his website, GovSpend, literally gives you who the person is, what their title is, what their phone number is, what their email is, and their purchase history.
Yeah, everything they've bought ever before.
And from who?
You can search it by those terms, which is super, super powerful. And then one of the things that you said in the interview with Jack, as you know, AJ doesn't do all the interviews. This was one, if you didn't listen to it, go listen to it, because we did the interview together, was how you need to be able, particularly if you're struggling, right? You need to be willing to adapt and modify and pivot a little bit. And we've been talking about with our members in our monthly membership, we've been talking about getting in the media. And one of the things we say is you need to tailor your expertise to what is happening in the news cycle. And that's how you get in the media, is connect what you do to what is happening.
Yeah.
Well, this was really similar. This is like not just for media attention, but for survival. Connect your skill sets to what is needed, like to what people desperately need, and be willing to pivot, because there's opportunity. So that was my second big takeaway, was just watching you kind of process that, like
Yeah,
that
and
in that way.
I think for anyone who's out there listening, and that would be our team included, it's we all possess a certain set of skill sets that you may not offer in your business. That doesn't mean you don't have those skill sets. Like I know Zoom up, down, all around, been using it for
Mm-hmm.
8, 9 years. I mean, it's a crucial part of our daily life and our daily business. There's no reason I couldn't start offering a Zoom training service
If you needed to, like
if I needed
if you
to.
needed to.
So it's like, what are all of these skill sets that you just naturally possess that you take for granted now that the whole world is gone virtual, gone online to do business? And in addition to that, I saw a story about these New York City dressmakers that have turned their sewing skills into sewing masks.
Uh,
And there's just so many.
that's a great example.
Yeah, like even here in Nashville,
Take your
Cycle Bar,
skill, apply it to what is needed.
or just get really creative. And I think that the story that I love here in Nashville, where we live, is Cycle Bar is one of the cycle studios in town. Clearly, no one is going to class right
Mm-hmm.
now, or shouldn't be. So here's what they've done. They are letting you rent their bikes that usually sit in their studio.
To be at
They
your
will
house.
to deliver them to your house. You rent them.
Genius.
Then they're doing live virtual classes, and you're paying more to rent the bikes than you would for your monthly subscription to come to the studio. So, duh,
Genius.
it's like there's so many opportunities to innovate. Maybe they'll never go back from that. Like this could be their new business. Maybe not, but
Maybe
I'm
not.
just saying there's just so much opportunity if we choose to get a little creative.
Well, and for us, like we have done all of our live in-person events have gone virtual,
Yeah.
and they are awesome. The feedback has been
We
incredible.
think so.
Well, our clients think so too, because
No, they
they're
do.
right
They
into the
do.
feedback,
They do.
and we do think it's incredible. But it's like people are saving money on travel, and they're having a very similar, comparable experience, and they're not having to do the risk. And there's some really amazing things that come out of that. But I think and the two big questions at a high level that you should be asking yourself is, one, how can I be digital? Like whatever business you're in, how can I be more digital? And like this is the time for video courses and video funnels and webinar funnels and blogging and social, and like all the things that we talk about on a normal basis to be accelerating, because it's how can I go digital? The second question I would be asking is how can I deliver service to people in their home? Okay, so like the cycle bar example is a great example. There's other examples of people doing home-based kind of delivery services, right? Like Amazon announced 100,000 jobs or something that they need. Why? Because everybody needs stuff delivered to their house. Which and if this goes on for a while, like eventually people are going to need haircuts from their house. They're going to want mani-pedis from their house. They're going to need everything is going to be who can get the service delivered to the home, in a safe way.
And even if it's not in the home, it's just how are you uniquely transforming your business? I read some stories the other day about high-end restaurants that are now doing a family-style meal prep. They would have never done takeout. Like these are not takeout places. You don't get takeout and you don't get to-go orders from these 5-star, 4-star restaurants. But now they're making family-style meals where you can come and pick them up curbside. So they're quickly pivoting to save jobs, to save their businesses. Of like, clearly no one's coming in here. That doesn't mean we can't pivot what we do. Still comparable, right? We're still a food hospitality business. We're just now doing it in family meal style planning for you to come pick it up. So even if it's not in the home, it's COVID related, right? What are the things that are necessities of our current time, and how are you adjusting your business now and for the future, which is one of the points that we had talked about in the interview,
And that would be my final point, right? I think to me, a big part of this interview was just sort of like the creativity and the pivot and the awareness that like for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So for every challenge, there's an equal and opposite opportunity somewhere. and to bring Jack in as a real life example of someone that's, you know, one of our clients who's just all of a sudden like exploded. That is out there everywhere. But then practically, to directly what he was saying, I mean, this was an eye opener for me about selling to the government, that if you want to create recession-proof revenue, everybody should at least take a look at this, not just for the short term. I mean, whatever that
For all the
website,
time.
whatever the website he gave, I think short term, you know, govquote.us. It's like, go look at that for short term money. Like their, you know, money is flying out and available. But long term is going, the number one spender of all is out there. And in down economies, they spend more money. It's like you should have a piece of your business and a piece of your
And
mind
to some degree,
towards at least being
government
aware.
business is somewhat recession proof.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, it's like, and perhaps today you don't really have a segment of your business that applies, and perhaps that's where your creativity needs to come in play, because that at least needs to be a consideration.
Yeah.
And
even if you don't offer, you know, like that website of all the stuff they're asking for,
right,
you may not offer something, but that's going to tell you
what
they need right now. And you go, oh, I could pull that together.
yeah, like another story. I've got so many stories.
You've been reading the positive,
That's all I'm looking
the
for.
positive pandemic stories.
Oh,
Welcome to the Positive Pandemic News with Paula Amanda Johns-Faden, reporting to you live on all of the most amazing
From my
creative
basement.
businesses.
with no windows.
Yes.
But I just thought this GM, right? I saw this thing the other day, and
I haven't heard about this one.
yeah, so, and I forget his name, but anyways, I saw it and I was just like, that's amazing how they were calling all US manufacturers to do what the government can't do. And so GM has all this manufacturing equipment. They're going to start manufacturing respirators.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like, yeah, but they've got all the equipment. That's not a product that they've been doing, but that doesn't mean they can't be doing that. They have the tools, they have the people, they have all of the, you know, manufacturing materials. They just have to reconfigure how they're doing it and what they're providing. So again, there's just so many things like that that are out there that are happening, causing people to rethink, readjust, innovate, and create in a time that's it's going to push us all to our limits.
Yeah. But you can do it. We're doing it with you, right? Like our live keynote business went indefinitely postponed. Our live event business, which is like a core part of our business, suddenly became all real-time in-person events, and they've been incredible. And, you know, I'm sure there's more curveballs coming our way, and there's going to be curveballs coming your way, but you can do it. There are opportunities out there. You have to just know that for every challenge, there is an equal and opposite opportunity. So thank you, babe, for inviting Jack. And thank you for tuning in. We want to be that source of encouragement and inspiration for you. We'll catch you next time on The Influential Personal Brand.